professor Mattioli, volevo fare un saluto a Bob Grenier della fondazione Flashman, che è arrivato dall'India. Lui è inglese, ma è arrivato dall'India per conquistare Roma. Stiamo attenti a lui.
Sorry, I don't speak Italian. I'm very sorry about that. But, at ICCF 17 on day 2, we decided that there needed to be some way of bringing investment into the field in which so many scientists have spent a good proportion of their lives. So, okay, slowly. I've got 2 minutes. Okay, so a number of people that came to ICCF 17 formed the Martin Fleischmann Memorial Project, which is hosted at quantumheat.org, with the expressed intention of replicating in an exact way a number of LNR experiments. We needed to find people that were willing to share their experiments with us, the technique and potentially the active component, because we wouldn't be in a position to potentially create that. Very thankfully, Celani has been working with us quite closely, and we were able to, in the last 4 months, build a number of reactors, and we are publishing this live on the internet on a daily basis. So it's a bit of a challenge in science. We think we're probably doing something that's never been done before. I know a lot of people claim that, but essentially I didn't sleep the night before last because we were doing our second replication live run, which we started 12 seconds past 12, minutes past 12 on the 12th of the 12th of the 12th Pacific Central Time. I think Celani maybe has received some slides from one of my collaborators, Mathieu in France, who is running the experiment there. And he, I think he's had time maybe to digest them. But essentially, we're self-funded or crowd-funded. The members of the team have been putting in hundreds and hundreds of hours, nothing like the people that have been working in this space for 23 years. But we've been very, very lucky in that Paul Hunt in the US has been able to provide some of the key capital funding to be able to create the initial reactors. And then we've had some very kind donations from people that have been watching the project that have really helped us improve the experiment for the second run that we did with the EU reactor, which is currently in southern France. So essentially we were very encouraged by our first replication attempt. We replicated Celani's loading of the wire very, very well. We were very excited, but we think we probably toasted our wire. But we pursued further exploration with that wire, but were unsuccessful to be confident that we had replicated the first time round. But as of 2 days ago, we again had a very successful loading earlier in the week, and we're very, very cautiously confident, should I say, that we may have achieved 6 watts clear over 48 hours, the last 48 hours. It's quite a pressure to be publishing your data live to the internet, because we have people watching us that are sending us graphs of our data before we've even woken up. And it's wonderful. We've got a whole army of bedroom researchers, and sometimes they're retired physicists, in all manner of engineering, who've worked for different agencies and universities and so forth. So it's really wonderful to have all those amazing contributions at time, and we want to expand this process, and we're calling it Live Open Science. We do have one thing. From the outset we said that we did not expect anyone to believe us, because we want to see it. So what we're trying to do is launch a Kickstarter to socially fund a multiple replication of this experiment, and we want to see, once we've nailed the cell design and the experimental protocol from first principles, because we weren't doing this before, right the way through to the end, so that we know everything that needs to be known about doing this experiment right. Because with all due respect, Celani's been doing this for a good chunk of his life, and when you're such an expert in a field, you don't remember necessarily why you did something, you just do it. So we're finding out things that are necessary and doing them and detailing those. So once we've got a watertight experiment that shows the effect, we want to socially fund it and send it to multiple locations around the world, and it will be live broadcast onto the internet, and the data will be live broadcast onto the internet. So these are not us. The universities or institutions that are respected will be able to carry out these replications, and we will have no control over what they're doing, but we'll be fairly confident at that stage that the cell will replicate. And then, once they've done the replication, we will ask them to just do what the hell they like to improve it, to test it, to try and establish the science. And our vision, as it were, is to have a number of different candidate experiments, not just necessarily Celani's, but a number of candidate experiments that are all over the world, and rather than just 2 people trying to do it, or 3 people doing it, there are this whole collaborative, maybe 100 or 200, exploring all the different variables and doing parameter sweeps, and all feeding in to find out what makes this thing tick. So look out at quantumheat.org. Look out for the analysis of our experiment we carried out less than 48 hours ago, which will be published later today. Please, if you want to take part in the project, we're going to launch languages of the site, so if you're good at English and Italian and you want to translate parts of the site, we would really appreciate that. And I really look forward to this science being taken forward so that it can realise not just the energy aspects, but also the transmutation aspects that it potentially holds. Thank you.
Bob ha parlato di queste organizzazioni internazionali per riorganizzare.
It's based in the UK. It's a community interest company. It's non-profit. Non-profit.
Che punta a riorganizzare e a creare un open source per la ricerca sulla fusione fredda. Noi nel nostro piccolo come Coherence siamo stati un open source che credo che ha contribuito ai successi nazionali e internazionali nel campo della fusione fredda, dai lavori di Focazzi ai lavori di Celani, ai lavori dei greci. Saluto qua degli amici che sono arrivati.